Hey everyone, Sean here, and today what I want to talk to you about is the future of audit offered by accounting firms and how automation and technology are expected to disrupt that in major ways, but in particular, what the bigger disruptions are expected to be and when they're expected to arrive. So the first thing I want to talk about is when these changes are expected to impact how the accounting firms offer the audit service. Now, the short answer here is this process is going to take years. Some of the bigger changes being predicted are quite a ways off, but that doesn't mean that there aren't things that you should be doing to prepare your team now. I'm going to talk about that later in this content as well also. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is what I'm expecting to be one of the bigger changes that are coming to the audit service offered by accounting firms. And that's how much of the data is actually audited. At the moment, there's a lot of firms offering a service where they do so by simply taking a sampling or a portion of the data and looking for anomalies there. But obviously, this has quite a bit of flaws associated with it, namely, we're unable to actually evaluate all the data. Moving forward, I think one of the bigger changes that are coming that's expected to impact the industry sooner rather than later is the fact that you're eventually going to have the ability to be able to evaluate all of the data. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is what that's going to mean for your team and the changes that you should be essentially thinking about making now in order to be prepared for this when this change does arrive. And that's significant potential disruptions to your workflow. They may be operating today in preparation for the sampling concept and only evaluating a portion of the data, but you're going to need to be able to prepare your team to be able to evaluate all of the data. Now, the other thing I want to mention is you don't need to necessarily prepare your team to be able to perform reviewing of all the data because that's what the technology and the automation is expected to do for you. As such, you're going to get significant time savings there. Where your team is going to need to focus more heavily is on evaluating these results for what the automation and the technology has discovered. As such, might be some form of concerning pattern or anomaly that you're going to be expected to evaluate and ultimately make judgment on. So you should be preparing your team to be able to be ready for any disruptions to their workflow and an understanding of what this technology is expected to do so that you and your team can best leverage it. Thank you for engaging with my content. I hope you found it valuable. If you'd like to know any more about me, please visit my website at nextstep.io or email me directly at sean@nextstep.io.